To get started, first unhook the tow vehicle from the grain bag unloader. Remove the support bar and place it in the storage holder. Lift the hitch and lock it in the upright position. Remove the PTO shaft from its holder and set it off to the side. The grain unloader is now ready to be hooked up to the tractor. A quick hitch will make this easier, but it is not necessary. Connect the tractor to the machine with the appropriate pins. If you are not using a quick hitch, make sure to connect the top link. It is needed to stabilize the machine during operation. Raise both jacks and turn them to their storage location. Next, hook up the two hydraulic hoses that run the machine. Then connect the electrical connection, which runs the governor and the fan. Make sure you hook up the electrical connection up to a circuit that will handle 20 amps. On newer tractors, you should be able to use the auxiliary outlet located in the cab. For tractors that do not have an auxiliary plug, alligator clips can be used to hook it up directly to the battery. Make sure to check your electrical connection for proper polarity. Your fan should be blowing inward and there should be a little green light on your governor sensor. As long as the green light is on and the fan's blowing your electrical is good. If you blow your fuse, you'll lose both functions. The oil will overheat and your governor will not work. Lastly, connect the PTO to the tractor and the machine. It can be connected with either end. Now that the tractor is hitched to the machine, the electrical and hydraulics are hooked up and the jacks are raised, it's time to prepare the machine for operation. To do this, pull the auger extensions and roller wings into the operating position. Make sure they are locked in place. Next, set the crossbar. It is used to set the height of the augers and can be set to your individual condition so the augers will run about 1 inch off the ground. The rollers will run independent and will run down further. Once the unloader is leveled, the auger can be adjusted by using the following levers. This bank right here is run off of tractor hydraulics. They run the cylinders, the bag push-off, the left and right cylinder, the unfold and fold cylinder, the roll up and down cylinder, winders, and wheel drive. This controls the winder speed and this controls the wheel drives as indicated on the sticker. Using the levers, lower the conveyor down to get about 1 inch off the ground to see where to set the pin at, according to the tractor height of the 3-point. The conveyor is meant to float over the ground, so the lower to the ground the better, but not too low so it's rubbing to catch anything. Once it's at the proper height, set the pin accordingly and then that height will be set. Next, unfold the main auger and rotate it left or right to line up with the grain truck. Once the auger is in place, prepare the bag to be hooked up to the auger. First thing to do is to cut the top. Open it up about 18 inches to 2 feet from the peak. Don't cut too high, otherwise the bag will split. Cut the bottom accordingly right to the grain pile. Make sure to have enough clean plastic to get into the bag. If there isn't enough clean plastic, you can work the machine back and forth to clear out enough grain to hook up to the winders. With the wheel drive, back up into the bag. Make sure the tractor is in neutral, lock the hubs in. To get the lockouts in, run the hydraulics. To make sure they're fully engaged before you operate it, run it back and forth a couple of times. Take the plastic and run it under both augers and over the roller like so. Grab the inside where you cut the inside on the bottom. That's where you want to hook it into your roller first. Take the bag and put it through the forward ear and then the back ear to lock it in place. Next, grab the side of the bag somewhere, roughly about the middle of the side. Take a piece of that and pull it through one time. It doesn't need to be wedged in place, just enough to go through to get that side started. The top will pull along with the rest of the bag, so it is not necessary to pull it through the wedge. Next, start to wind the bag and back up slowly with the machine's wheels. While winding, grab the top portion of the bag and tuck it under the plastic already on the winders. The machine is ready for operation. At this point, you can have the wheels unlocked and only use them when needed. The winders will pull the back up by itself. While running, watch this gauge. It reads the pressure that the PTO pump is putting out. The PTO pump runs the charge auger, the conveyor, and the cleanout augers. This handle turns it on and off when the PTO is engaged. The governor regulates the pressure and bypasses the tractor hydraulics when the pressure gets too high. You want the winders and wheels to shut off at around 2300 and then turn back on at about 2000. You may need to adjust the governor a little bit to ensure it stays within that range. With the lockout wheel hubs completely disengaged, start the winders and leave them running. Running the tractor about 450 to 470 RPMs is typically ideal. As the unloader slowly moves back, check to make sure the bottom knife starts. If it doesn't start, you may have a double layer of plastic bunched up, or you may need to replace your knife. If you're into wet corn, wet conditions, tractor digs, etc., and you do need your wheel drive, by all means use it. But you must be careful that your wheels don't overrun your winders. What happens when that occurs is your bag will start to roll under these rollers and you'll get a little bulge in the bag. That means your wheels are going faster than your winders. So what you'll want to do is slow your wheels down so that your winders can do most of the pulling. This keeps the plastic tight and keeps the grain flowing well. Once the grain cart is full, shut the augers and the conveyor off using the ball valve. Let the PTO clean out and then shut it off. Since we aren't emptying the entire bag at this time, we're going to pull out far enough to be able to hook up to the unloader next time. First, lock the wheels. Pull forward while unwinding the bag off the roller. Once you ensure that you have enough empty portion of the bag to hook up the unloader again, cut the bag from the machine. To remove the wound up portion of the bag, take the nut off of the roller, open the door, and then pull the 2 pins from both sides of the back plate. Pull the bag removal handle to move the back plate into the front plate. This presses the rolled up portion of the bag into an easy to remove bundle. Once the wrapped up portion of the bag is removed, put the plates back in place on the rollers. Put the door back on, line up the bushing, put the bolt back on and tighten it back up. You are then ready to go on to another bag.